following is a presentation of the Big East Conference Television Network. It was just a little over 2 weeks ago that St. John's came to Providence, the game coming down to the final seconds, and Marco Baldi tying it with 7 seconds to go for the Redmen of St. John's. Baldi's biggest bucket of the night. Providence would have one more chance to win it, and they went to Billy Donovan. Donovan had a great night, 28 points in all, but he couldn't convert on this trip up the floor. St. John's the rebound, and much to the dismay of Rick Pitino, the game went to overtime. But in that overtime, it was all Providence College. Ernie Lewis hitting for 3. St. John's was down, but Providence College was up. They came through with the big overtime win, and now tonight we're at Alumni Hall in New York for the rematch. It's Big East basketball. The Providence College Friars take on the St. John's Redmen. It has been 10 years since the Providence College Flyers have won a game here at Alumni Hall. In fact, no one has beaten St. John's here in the last 30 outings. A sellout crowd has made their way to Jamaica, New York tonight to find out if form holds or if the Redmen are going to continue to roll along. And indeed, the Redmen have been rolling along. They are now 8-4 in the Big East. All of the rest of their games are at home, which is a big advantage for them. For the Friars, they are at 6-4. If they are going to be a serious contender this year in the Big East Conference, they need a win here tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Orman along with Bill Raftery. Happy to bring you this ball game. And this is really a coach's ball game as much as anything else. Conflicting styles, philosophies, tempos, you name it.
Well, obviously, Louis, for years, the half-court proponent, moving it, using the clock. Rick Pitino coming in 2 years ago, revving it up. Helpful for recruiting and certainly the program off and running.
Okay, let's take a look at some numbers that'll back up that philosophy, or the differences rather in the philosophy. You see Providence, 88 points a game. The Redmen just 70. Look at those shots attempted, Bill.
Incredible. Of course, the speed of the shot. They come up quickly and they go after it. They get a lot of loose balls, therefore more shots.
Okay, one of the things that Providence felt helped them in their overtime win back in Providence, they did not feel that St. John's was particularly effective in the half-court game. And when we talk about the half-court game for both sides, we're talking about the two premier guards in the Big East, Mark Jackson and Billy Donovan. First, Mark Jackson. Can he run the half-court offense? Well,
it's not necessarily Mark doing a bad job. It's ineffective play by Willie Glass or Shelton Jones that's hurt St. John's. But you're right. If it's a half-court game, Providence feels it's to their advantage. On the other hand, the speed of Providence beating St. John's down the floor and getting a lead. That's very important.
Okay, and it would seem for Providence College here, too, tonight, Bill, that they can't get behind.
No, again, the crowd, and of course, an away game, a tough building. The last time Providence won, Joey Hassett was playing. I think Soupy Campbell hit a runaway and out the door.
Yep, exactly. Joe told me about it 5 times on the way down today. We will be back with the starting lineups between Providence and St. John's. Should be a good one here tonight, folks. Back after this word from your local station. Welcome back to Alumni Hall on the campus of St. John's, everybody. Mike Orman along with Phil Raftery, and we are just about set now to meet the starting lineups for both clubs. The Redmen and all of his fans are out in force tonight. Let's go to Jim Hall now and see who's starting.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. John's University, home of the best in college basketball. Tonight, the Redmen host the Friars at Providence College. Let's greet the starting players. For the Friars, at forward, number 15, David Kipfer. For St. John's, number 31, Shelton Jones. At forward for Providence, number 23, Ernie Lewis. For St. John's, number 30, Willie Glass. At center for the Friars, number 50, Jacek Duda. For the Redmen, number 10, Terry Ross. Providence, number 12, Delray Brooks. For St. John's, number 23, Matt Brust. For the Friars, number 34, Billy Donovan. And for the Redmen, number 13, Mark Jackson. The head coach of Providence is Rick Pitino, and of St. John's, Lou Carnaseca.
And we are just about set to go here at Alumni Hall. The Friars 6-4, St. John's 8-4. Back for the game in a minute. A look up the Providence College bench here at Alumni Hall at the campus of St. John's. The Friars on the floor. The St. John's Redmen still huddled around Lou Carnaseca. There you see the team comparison. Not a lot to choose from of the records of these two clubs. The Friars better free throw shooters. Three-point shooting pretty even. It's just that Providence takes a whole lot more, Bill.
No question.
The rebound margin to St. John's, and Friars have had trouble on the boards, but you can see they get up and down the floor. 88 points a game for Providence, just 70 for the Redmen, so it's going to be easy to see as we take a look at tonight's officials. Mickey Crowley, Tim Higgins, and David Day on the left. It'll be easy to see as this game progresses, really, whose tempo is winning out.
Who's on top, right? Of course, they're 5th in the nation, Providence, in points at that 88 number. So they light it up.
You see the Redmen have dominated this series again. It has been 10 years since Providence College last won a game here at Alumni Hall. They would like to get one tonight. The Friars have got a rough road streak ahead of them. St. John's, that's the opposite. Everybody's coming to see them here.
Looks like that 1-1-3 ends up a 2-3, Mike, by Providence.
Mark Jackson will run the show out top, number 13. That's Willie Glass. Matt Brust, the other guard, looking inside. St. John's will be patient, as always, on the offensive end, and Brust throws the ball away.
Good defense by Delray Brooks up in that passing lane. Looked like Rick Pitino wouldn't let the ball turn the corner there defensively.
All right, Rick Pitino calling the play off the Providence College bench. Let's see what's developed. The Friars have plenty of time to set it up, and St. John's plenty of time to get in their defense, but their defense is man-to-man.
According to Lou Carnaseca, he's going to let them shoot outside, or at least beat them deep.
Brust is on Delray Brooks, and a foul is called.
St. John's.
Terry Brust picking up the foul in the lane. Glad you caught that, Bill. I didn't.
A lot of action in there, huh?
Billy Donovan, quick release from the corner. Rebound, Willie Glass. One and you're done. That is the philosophy for St. John's tonight.
Amen. All his career, Louis, he's worried about his turnovers, Carnaseca, and of course, defensively making sure there is only one shot.
Shelton Jones, St. John's would like to get him off the mark quickly. Glass forces one up, hit it, and a foul.
Got Billy Donovan for the foul. Can't afford to have Billy with too many early. But if St. John's is playing well, they've got both forwards, Willie Glass and Shelton Jones in the flow. Mark Jackson has been steady every ball game.
Been more than steady, really, about the past week and a half. Just spectacular. As we look at Glass knocking home the free throw, Willie, a much improved free throw shooter off his early years here at St. John's. And the Redmen jump out 3-0.
Man-to-man.
Ernie Lewis can't answer, and again, Brust and Brust were all over the board. All right, Jackson will pull it up. You see him with the hand in the air. Jackson very much the court general of this club. There's the double team on Jones. Brust got free. Brust, the follow. Great follow by Terry Brust.
Oh, they need some points from the center spot, Mike. The other night, 3 points between Baldi. Rick Pitino doesn't agree with the call.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening to you.
Baldi and Brust here, but what an effort. You'll see the old give and go. Brust finding the hole, good delivery. Billy Donovan helping out beautifully, and incredible tip.
Terry Brust knocks home the free throw, and it is 6-0. St. John's out quickly.
They must have given that to Kipfer, did they?
Yes, they did. David Kipfer picked up that foul.
So far, the philosophy working. They don't want it inside. They got to walk on that one. You mentioned to me, is the background earlier, before we went on the air, is it difficult to shoot here? Some tempers right now. Rick Pitino's mad about the over-the-top by Terry Bross. But I think it's a little easier for teams who play here every year. If you only come in every other year, as they would in the old days, it's not as difficult. Kids seem to stroke it just like they're home.
There is no love lost between these two clubs, and that is obvious early. St. John's to inbound. Providence will come with their full court pressure. First chance they've really had to put it on since they have been unable to convert any points. And we're nearly 2 minutes into the game. 6-0 St. John. Jackson lost the dribble. McBrust breaks the 10-second line.
Stu Jackson, the assistant for Rick Pitino, said that St. John's handled the press very well. They were surprised, but the half court, they thought they struggled.
Bross finds Glass. He beats Brooks to the basket. And that is going to be a blocking foul on Jacek Duda.
That's the isolation St. John's has used beautifully all year long. Whether it's zone or man-to-man, they'll reverse the ball. All of a sudden, with the match pulled to the other side, Duda stepping in late. Willie Glass out of the gate strong.
So we said off the top, the last thing in the world that Providence College needed was to get in a hole, and they have just dug themselves a 9-point hole. 6 points for Willie Glass, 9 St. John's, 2 minutes gone in the game.
Because with their three-pointers, they can back in quickly.
Here comes one of them from Lewis. Won't go down. Tip from Kipfer won't go. Good hustle by Kipfer, though, on the offensive board. First strong effort by Providence on the offensive board.
I thought Mark Jackson got a piece. They gave it to Bross. Mark making sure it wasn't him.
That's 2 on Terry Bross, which may bring Marco Baldi off the bench here early for St. John's. Kipfer will step to the free throw line.
Kipfer for 2.
Really a hole early for Providence. They got to fight their way out. Got to come up with some turnovers in the press, Mike, and of course start shooting much better. Building's cold, they're cold.
Well, the building is cold tonight. I figured with no ice under our feet, Bill would be in good shape here, but not so. Kipfer got them both. And again, Providence immediately into the pressure defense.
The four-cross. Lou's been using this for the past 5 or 6 years.
Brust takes the bounce pass. Tipped by Kipfer, loose. There's the turnover Providence wanted. Brooks to Donovan. Blocked by Brust. Rebound, Bross. Shelton Jones on the break the other way. Takes it up and in.
Boy, did he turn it on.
Whoa.
I thought he would give it to Jackson in the middle. But he just turned the corner.
Just exploded to the basket. St. John's very intense on the defensive end here. Kipfer won't go down. We've got a push, and it's going to go on Jacek Duda. Second foul on Duda. Let's take a look at that full court exchange here.
Well, Matt Brust had 2 turnovers. He certainly made up for them here, using the glass to ignite that break, which 5-second call. Shelton Jones finished off beautifully.
St. John's turning it over under their basket, unable to get in the 5 seconds allotted. Steve Wright, you see, into the ball game first time for Providence.
Mike, that's 3 early here, and that's another concern that I'm sure Louis he mentioned it before the game, he's going to gnaw away at him.
Steve Wright kicks it out to Donovan. In the corner, Delray Brooks. Matt Brust is right up on Brooks. Brooks is going to have a hard time getting a shot off tonight. Ernie Lewis, good up fake. Now Donovan for 3. Rebound tipped around, out of bounds. Providence gets another shot at it.
Steve Wright active with the hands, but that's one of the few times, and of course the penetration by Pop Lewis. Getting the defender up in the air, set up Billy Donovan.
Kipfer down low, spins through the lane, reach-in foul. And if they've got Bross again, that'll be 3. Yes, they do. Third foul on Terry Bross here, just 3.5 minutes into the game, and here comes Marco Baldi. Bross was off the mark quickly with 3 points. That's as many points as the St. John's Senators got the whole game against Seton Hall.
Yeah, they struggled, but with Mark Jackson, it didn't matter.
Delray outside, got it for 3.
Well, it doesn't really bother Providence when they don't make a few. I mean, it's not going to lie on their conscience.
Brust Gets to Mark Jackson. Now Jackson looks, finds Brust, Shelton Jones. They clear the press easily this time. Now you see Jackson, the finger over the head to set the play. Brust goes through on the baseline.
Chris, now that used to be Chris Mullen going down and through.
Jackson hits for 3.
3 points for Mark Jackson.
I don't think there's a player in the Big East playing with more confidence right now than Mark Jackson. Donovan can't go down, throws up an air ball. Shelton Jones has got it.
Mark's got it all under control. You're right, Mike. The thing about him, he just seems to know what's needed for St. John's.
Matt Brust finds Shelton Jones.
Very unselfish. Right now, the cuts are really picking the 2-3 matchup apart.
Delray Brooks looks to answer, short with it. Long rebound, Jackson taken away Brooks. Lewis steps behind the line. Kip for the foul underneath. Or is it going to go the other way? Looks like Matty Brust is going to pick up the foul. Got a 2-shot foul, Tim Higgins says.
Oh, got him for an elbow.
Oh, yeah, there's no love lost between these two clubs.
Oh, Matt Brust not afraid to dish it out. You see Mark Jackson just swipe him on the head. He has that calming effect with these players.
David Kipper shooting.
David Kipper back at the line. He has 2 of Providence's 5 points, but they are down by 11 here early. 6'7" senior out of Kitchener, Ontario.
That's nice. I don't know whether he meant it or not. Matt Brust slapping 5 with David Kipper.
Brust is 1 in 10, son of a gun. 4 points for Kipper, but the Friars are in a hole. 15:27 to play first half. The Redmen are up by 11. Big East Conference and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Big East Conference is prohibited. 1 of 10 shooting for Providence College so far. 6 of 7 for St. John's. As we look at Rick Pitino, his Friars are in that hole right now, Bill. We said they couldn't get in. What do they have to do?
Well, again, the shots are there. They're not making them, no question, but no 2 games are alike. Up in Providence, I'm trying to listen to Rick and talk to you at the same time. Up in Providence, St. John's didn't run their half-court sets. They're running them very well tonight, so they're going to have to match up better, communicate better defensively, and get something out of their press.
Jackson, Brust looking for Shelton Jones baseline. Jackson, one of the few point guards in the country you'll see hold that ball out with one hand and palm it like that.
But they got the defense stretched.
Brust trying to go backdoor, and there was Donovan. Nice move. And Brust is called for a reach-in foul as he tried to slap it away.
Well, that shows kids at home how to use the left hand, doesn't it? Billy D showed it with the left hand, took it away. Same hand change. And, of course, to read defensively, they need some turnovers, some plays that lead to goals. Here, unfortunately, Brust foul and stopped the Providence break.
Back live, the Friars looking to cut this to 6 maybe with one of their patented threes. Steve Wright will get it to 7. 16-9. And again, Providence relentless with the pressure. Baldy. Shelton Jones off to the races. Good feed, and Glass has got 2.
And what made that perfect was Shelton Jones did not charge. Passed and stopped.
8 first-half points for Willie Glass, who, needless to say, is off the mark quickly. Crowd looking for a walk on Delray Brooks.
But a pressure by the defense, huh?
Ernie
Gamble.
Lewis will fire.
Willie made a bad gamble outside. Guy's bouncing it. He can't score. Let him go.
Alanda Lewis has checked into the game. Shelton Jones clears the 10-second line. Jackson is looking to get the pass after the inbounds play. Now Mark will set up the half-court offense. Brust has gone to the bench. Lewis replaces him. Shelton Jones tried to keep it alive, but it'll be Providence ball.
Willie with a little bit of a force, but Shelton Jones very active in the first half. If he ever gets 2 halves in a row, he might get some All-American mention.
All right, Providence trying to crawl back into this one. Got themselves in a big hole early, but they can cut it to 5 here.
But they're tagging the shooters, aren't they?
Lewis hits for 3, and they cut it to 4. 18-14 as the Redmen attackers slowed down. They almost didn't get that in. Lewis almost went by the 5-second count. Baldy finds Glass. Willie a step in the field. Lost it on the way up. Kip for the rebound.
Willie thought it donkey, Mike.
Good move, Billy Donovan. Won't go. That tap's not going to count from Steve Wright, but Donovan is down on the floor, getting up very slowly.
I think he ran into the basket stanchion after the release. What a heck of a looking layup, though, by Billy.
Ooh, Billy on his feet right now. Tough. We're going to have a timeout. 13-11 to go first half. 18-14 St. John. 9-2 spurt here to get themselves back into this ball game with 13-11, as you can see, remaining in the first half. 18-14, the Redmen by 4. Fouls a little bit of trouble right now for St. John's as Bross is on the bench with 3 and Brust with 2, especially Brust, Bill. I miss him for his intense defense.
Yeah, it's something about his emotional pitch that helps the St. John's club. But Providence got back in this thing by picking up the defense a little and then getting some help from a couple of forced shots, too. One in particular, Willie Glass going to the goal, and then, of course, the miss when he was trying to dunk it.
And there you see Luke Carnesecca telling his troops for a final time as they head out what he wants out of them. Baldy, Jones, Glass, Lewis, and Jackson are on the floor for St. John's. Rick Pitino, who talks more than you and I do during the game.
He has a lot more to say.
Yeah, he sure does.
It's like the new kid on the block versus the old mentor, right? Luke on a second, Rick Pitino.
All right, Billy Donovan at the line for 2 and a chance to get his club to 2.
The established program and the up-and-coming program.
First point of the night for Billy.
Like you see the 4 across there, and they obviously love to have it to Jackson, and judgment now being used after the timeout. I'm sure Lou said, only if it's an easy one.
Alanda Lewis, the freshman, goes to Glass. Good up fake, but Shelton Jones didn't see the pass coming. Here comes Carlton screen. Nice hands, Jackson. Screen got it back and is fouled on the way through. Shelton Jones is going to pick it up.
Not a bad look by Carlton Screen. There's a variant here. Chris Mullins' old school. He tried to loop the ball, which was the correct pass. Unfortunately, the big hands got a piece of it.
St. John's is over the limit here, so we're going to be shooting some free throws. The Friars have got a long way to go here, 1-1. And Providence, an excellent free throw shooting team.
When's the last time you've seen that, Mike?
I know.
Providence normally commits the majority of the fouls.
Screen goes to the line, a 72%er. And the Friars can come all the way back to a tie. Lewis hits Jackson. Steve Wright, the only one back. Jackson takes it to him. Blocked from behind by Marty Conlon, out of bounds.
Great help. Of course, Mark Jackson's been doing that spin move. Good defensive play. Providence reacting well.
Jackson gets it in quickly to Jones. Jackson wants it down low, but Donovan flipped it away again. Loose ball screen. Did he save it? Yes, he did. Ernie Lewis comes forecourt. Providence can get their first lead of the night. Lewis for 3, and he got it.
So much for background. Pop really handling Willie Glass. That's not done too often.
St. John's having trouble in the pressure now as Baldy brought it across himself. And finally the ball gets to Mark Jackson to set things up. So the big St. John's lead has disappeared, and suddenly they're down 3. Orlando Lewis backs it out. Shelton Jones misses the dunk baseline, but he's going to pick up a foul. Steve Wright, I believe, will get it.
I believe Rick Pitino's upset, not at the call. Somebody should have stepped in and taken away that baseline, picked up the charge.
Kipfer and Brooks are back in for Providence. Screen is coming out along with Conlon. Now Darrell Wright will come in, and Ernie Lewis will sit down for the first time tonight.
Shelton Jones shooting 2.
Good sound comeback right now. You test the poise of St. John's. Gee, they handle that. Of course, they've got that look in their eyes, Providence, of a confident club you know, they can overcome as many obstacles as you present to them.
They have outscored St. John's 16-2 here, Bill.
Let's go!
Jones 1 of 2. Rick Pitino yelling out to his club, we want to run. Let's go.
Little 1-3-1 first time.
Delray Brooks kicks it back to Donovan. Brooks in the corner. Darrell Wright back to Donovan. Loop it across right, but he couldn't handle a pass.
You know what Steve Wright did wrong there? He tried to catch it one hand, Mike. It was a tough pass. Ooh. Dave Kipper just banged it to Mark Jackson.
Jackson now finds Lewis in the middle. Baldy, a little trouble handling it. Jackson looks to set up. St. John's' turn to try for the tie. Shelton Jones inside, quick turnaround, won't get down off the glass, loose ball rebound, Jackson's got it, looks for three, and he got it!
He is amazing. It's nothing but isolation there. They seem to get what they want when they either put Shelton or Willie Glass on the box, but hustling Mark Jackson.
Brooks had a thought, but Jackson's right there. Kipper in traffic. Brooks for three. Rebound Shelton Jones.
Nice look.
Oh, Lewis wasn't there.
Should have kept going. He should have kept running. He just hesitated a little bit. Louis applauding the play by Mark Jackson. But that long rebound that Jackson ran down, that's the play that Providence makes. That puts them over the top.
Lewis got the steal on Brooks. Lander will go in and stop it. Made up for missing that last one.
Oh, I'll say in the ambush, Louis' name for the 1-3-1.
Hit him with the bush, right?
The bush. That's Chris Mullen was telling us one night, his favorite. Should we put the bush on?
Brooks through the double team. Donovan. Nice. Right, good rebound. Puts it back up and in. Count it and a foul.
And credit Dave Kipper and Darrell Wright for bodying the St. John's people under the basket, enabling Steve Wright to finish it off.
Steve Wright. St. John's foul, number
4 points now for Wright. Orlando Lewis picked up that foul. Watch down low.
Again, you'll see the bodies move everybody under Steve Wright. You know,
sure did move Shelton Jones out, didn't he?
You don't get an assist for that, but Dave Kipper plays hard.
Yeah, Wright, a very good free throw shooter. Shows you right there, he's got 5. Abdul Shamsuddin will make his first appearance of the night. Just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. We're dead even at 24. Each team has had their run at the other, and now maybe we're going to settle down to a close basketball game.
Good catch by Marco Baldi there.
Orlando Lewis. Little hesitation move. Won't go. Willie Glass won't go. Loose ball rebound off the foot of Delray Brooks, and St. John's catches a break there.
Much scrappier than they were against Seton Hall, Mike. They were lackluster. Lou was upset after the game, but Seton Hall just played great defense, I thought, all evening. Forced them to do some things.
The freshman Lewis.
Nice
line. Shelton Jones. Yes, sir.
Oh, Major League. Get over, use the rim. Nobody can block it.
St. John's is getting the effort they wanted out of their two forwards. 15 points combined for Glass and Jones here in 10 minutes of the ballgame.
Great use of the dribble.
Donovan hit.
Billy Donovan.
Beautiful crossover move.
The pace of the game, though, more in Providence's favor. Jackson, no foul's going to go against Shamsuddin.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is a major player's call. Shelton Jones with a great screen off, and the lead, Lewis, just finding him, but beautiful use of the rim. But what a tough call against Providence. Mark Jackson getting the Larry Bird call, maybe?
Maybe.
Did you hear that? What is he, Sir Lancelot?
Jackson at the free throw line. Way off.
Kelly! 33!
7 points now for Mark Jackson in the game. The Redmen by 1.
I'm enjoying the sideline.
Kipfer will try. And he knocks it down. A little out of David's range, but he's got himself 6.
Seldom do you see that. Rick Pitino said to Mickey Crowley, stop listening to him, meaning Louis. And Mickey said, I'm not listening to him.
St. John's crowd wants a foul call as Providence looks to double. Lewis.
Oh,
A lander.
one thing about Louis' teams over the years, guys you don't see come out and do some great things their second and third year. He just brings them along slowly.
Jackson shut off Donovan. Lewis is chasing Brooks. Baldy's got Kipfer, and Baldy's called with the foul.
Marco has trouble denying that post pass, but Orlando Lewis before came up empty on a dribble move here, a little dipsy-do, little finger roll at the end, but just excellent use of the dribble and body control.
I guess. First foul on Baldy.
Kipfer on the line.
And Dave Kipfer can put the Friars back up again by 1. But points are going on the board fast here, Bill.
And you feel that's,
Well,
the Providence advantage. Well, they went overtime, right, at 81?
that's true. They did. That last game was a 93-81 game up in Providence. Again, St. John's with a 30-game win streak here on the Alumni Hall floor. Willie Glass hits outside.
Well, that would help your zone attack.
Glass, the first player in double figures with 10. Ernie Lewis, the up fake. Brooks, inside right. Hits the turnaround.
Of course, their offensive philosophy lingered around the three-point line. Providence opens up their middle. If Wright or any of the big people could score, it would certainly help.
Jackson takes it himself. Got it, and a foul.
He just takes over.
Boy, he sure does. Delray Brooks picking up his first.
Mark just has his head up at all times. Here the square, and of course the elevation, but the contact, New York City style.
Looking to convert the three-point play and push the St. John's lead to 4. Jackson now joins Glass in double figures, and we have got a timeout. 7:21 to go here first half. The Redmen are back up 4. Alumni Hall on the campus of St. John's in New York. 7:21 to go first half. The Redmen up by 4. Both teams have really thrown spurts at each other. A 16-5 run by St. John's to open the game, then a 16-2 run by Providence to answer. And now things have kind of settled down a bit, Bill.
You know what amazed me about Lou Conaseca? I happened to speak to Pete Carrill this week, and we were reminiscing about a St. John's game that I happened to be scouting. It ended up like 48-46. St. John's beat Princeton. 2 nights later, Louis comes out and plays somebody in the 80s, wins that one too. I mean, they're extraordinary how they can handle you whatever tempo. They just seem to know how to win.
Jackson out on the point of this defense now, and Donovan quickly bangs home a three-pointer.
He's got a few fans here. First, the 1-3-1, if you split the middle and the man on the foul line doesn't come up on you quick enough, these guards can punish you.
Jackson always makes the right pass. Willie Glass will pull it up this time. See Mark Jackson blowing on his hands outside. It's that cold in this building.
I don't know whether it's Providence or not, but St. John's really looks alert tonight. I think there's a little fear for PC.
Oh, I think rightfully so. They should be afraid.
Absolutely.
Big game for both clubs in the Big East standings. Baldy, and he's fouled as he makes a move to the hoop.
Say, Marco just kept backing in. That's like playing Yugoslavia for the cup over there. Bounced himself into Steve Wright.
That's 3 on Steve Wright. So centers on both clubs are starting to pile up the fouls here. Bross has got 2, and Bross 3 rather. Baldy 2 for St. John's, and Wright 3. Jacek Duda, who's back in the game, has 2 already for Providence. Whereas Patino's bench is deeper. Not all that sure whether it's deeper in talent. It's deeper in minutes played, though, that's for sure.
Well, you got Dean at least 3 big bodies at the center spot, so you're right. They are deeper there.
Marco Baldi knocks them both home, and the lead is 3. And there you see the foul trouble on your screen.
Now, this is the foul. Brian Mahoney, the assistant at St. John's, he said what happens is Marco will get a foul that has nothing to do with the game. I mean, it just burst through a group and knock somebody. It's going to become a forwards game. Hempel now in for Baldi.
And that hurts.
Both clubs are going to be without their big people.
Yep. John Hempel is going to play some minutes in the middle. Hempel, a 6'7", 230-pound senior who is normally a shooting forward. Going to get in the paint and mix it up for a while. Delray Brooks at the line. Let's see if we can spot Marco's foul.
Well, in international play, you can probably get away with this, but a little shiver. I don't think he realizes how strong he is as Delray nails that free throw.
Lewis again finds Jackson with the initial inbounds pass. Tipped away by Brooks. Now Jackson comes out of the pack, loops it ahead to Hempel. Hempel takes it to the hoop, misses the layup.
Now here's one I disagree with.
And an offensive foul goes on Hempel.
You can't keep calling the Mike. Duda offered it up, was moving. Earlier, I thought Providence had been robbed on a couple, but here you'll see Duda moving as Hempel makes that move up in the air. But
it's a bad call.
How long can you call them, I guess?
That's true.
And I think that's Rick's philosophy.
Yeah. Any edge he can get. Hempel gets it up to Jackson as he reaches in and gets the steal.
Boy, everybody talking about this guy in the NBA. If you want a guy to be the choreographer of your club, Mark Jackson seems to be the guy they're all talking about.
Yeah, I can think of a few NBA teams who could use him. More than a few, really. Hempel can shoot that shot. Not this time. Rebound Duda. Donovan, little hesitation move, but Jackson stayed right with him. In the middle.
Oh.
Kipfer.
Lazy defense. Hempel wanted a push off, but Kipfer using that body. One of the pleasant guys to watch, how hard he works.
Providence taking the lead back again by 1. 5:18 now to go first half. What started out as a rout is now a real struggle for St. John's. Willie Glass. Short. Shelton Jones. Major league rebound. And a traveling violation called by Mickey Crowley.
As he came down.
And Louis really upset.
Interesting play. They overloaded one way and kicked it all alone for a one-on-one was Willie Glass. Might look for more of that.
All right, Providence by 1, looking to extend their lead as we crack the 5-minute mark. Alanda Lewis is chasing Delray Brooks. Glass on Lewis, and he slaps it away out of bounds.
Hempel with a better job inside on Kipfer that time. Of course, you've got to harass the passer, too, to help your postman.
Carlton screen in to run the show.
See how they bump as you run through St. John's?
Yeah.
A subtlety.
Let you know you've been there, right?
Absolutely.
Ernie Lewis short with that one, and Hempel saw it coming. Here comes Jackson on the break. Got Glass and Lewis with them. Mark Jackson, yes!
And a great call, too. Great call. Mark Jackson had some choices there. Willie Glass made it all happen, filling the lane. And the trailer, Shelton Jones, didn't bother him either. See him there on the left? Willie on the extreme left. Nice call here by Mickey. And guy who's having a sensational year, Mark Jackson, just has a read, sees people, seldom makes a mistake.
Jackson with a dozen. St. John's grabs the lead back by 2. 4:31 left to go here first half. No one is given an inch.
Shuffle cutting it down screen.
Donovan calls out a play. Lewis, screen, a little outside weave. Now here comes Donovan around looking for the shot. Kicks it back to screen. A runner screen goes.
Basket by Carlton Screen.
Carlton Screen scored a whole lot of points in high school. He has been primarily a playmaker, and Donovan the steal.
They keep after you. You fall asleep, Providence makes you pay.
Hempel gets it to Jackson. Now St. John's 3-on-2. Willie Glass in traffic. No. Due to the rebound. Off to Donovan. Lost it. Jackson's got it. Between the legs 3 different times. Puts it up. In and a foul.
Is that taking you downtown? Oh, my God. That's like 6 different moves, and you got to react to each one. Woo! This is doing some business on you.
Count the times. Count the times between the legs here. One,
this is a little
2.
Josic saying, what am I doing in here? The little guys are supposed to defend against him. That's gorgeous.
41 apiece as Jackson steps to the line, and this is a shootout of the first order here at Alumni Hall. 16 first half points for Mark Jackson, and we've got a timeout. 3:41 to go here in the half. Back and forth we go. It's St. John's now by 1. The Plymouth Player of the Game will be selected at the conclusion of this game and during every game televised by the Big East Conference Television Network. It's all part of the Chrysler Corporation sponsorship of Big East basketball, and Mark Jackson with 16 first half points certainly leading the early balloting here at the table, Bill.
He's an entry each evening when he's on the floor. Providence bounced back beautifully, I thought. Of course, part of their philosophy,
spread it around.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They spread the wealth. And one thing I'm impressed with Billy Donovan in particular, and occasionally Del Rey, is they're not afraid to dump it to the other people and not have a scoring night. I mean, they're much better, obviously, when they can contribute a large amount of points.
And Billy Donovan, who we see there on the screen in particular, has shown that he can score 6 or 7 points in the game and Providence can still win.
Tough kid. Boy, he's made himself a talent.
He sure has.
As I mentioned one night, his dad said it was Rick Pitino.
Donovan a runner. Won't go down. Rebound ripped away by Hempel, who's doing a nice job playing in the middle. Unfamiliar position.
Strength rebound. Dean will learn. Still a match.
Inside, Shelton Jones can't hit a turnaround. A rebound, Kipfer. Here comes Donovan. Billy will try for 3. Won't get it. Picked on the floor. Here comes Shelton Jones. Rick Pitino up screaming for a foul on Donovan, which he never got.
But that high post has been open. St. John's been able to take advantage on occasion with a flash in there.
Hempel in a little trouble. Gets it off nicely, though, to Lewis. There's the penetration. Gives it up Jackson.
Look at this.
Mark between the legs. Finds Hempel in the corner. Got it.
John did that at Massachusetts. He's not the least bit concerned when he's on the floor. He may not make a shot, but he does not hesitate.
How about the ball control there by Jackson in the middle, though? Orlando Lewis is covering Billy Donovan. Jackson is over on screen. Glass stays with Lewis.
They ran a stack there, Mike. That's the first time where they put 2 on each side and pop the guy out.
Carlton screen, penetrates. Runner won't go down. Jones another rebound. Jackson the break. In the middle. Mark takes it. Doesn't hit it this time, but draws another foul. Ernie Lewis is going to pick it up.
The dribble was forced to the left towards Willie Glass. It would have been silly to give it to Willie. Another kid would have given it up and wouldn't have been able to play him easily. You know, just intelligent the way he bounces himself. Did you hear this? Rick said he gets better treatment than Larry Bird. He may be right.
Billy Donovan is out and Delray Brooks is in.
Let's go, David. He's not third. Wait till next year.
Jackson now. You can hear Pitino in the background.
This is a great scene.
It is. Kind of a non-stop monologue coming out of the Providence bench here.
And we can read Louis' lips.
looking for point number 18 here in the first half. Mark Jackson. You know, I'm wondering here why we hear Rick Pitino so well. This crowd is really not in this game.
Now they sort of are used to winning so much they applaud the great plays.
Screen gets a little runner. Carlton Screen shows his offensive ability, and Jones tracking that down as St. John's nearly gave it up again on the press. Jackson again finds the right man, then claps his hands to get the ball back. Willie will kick it out. Still 30 seconds on the shot clock. St. John's really has not tried to milk the clock as much as they usually do. And that's a travel on Willie Glass. Too bad. He knocked down the jumper, too.
Louis. Willie needed one, I guess, you know. Trying to force a little bit from deep. They've really been able to pick apart the Providence zone. When they're patient, they seem to get a good shot out of it.
Screen looking for somebody to flash to the key. Now Kipfer bails him out. Screen, nice move. Throws up a runner and hits it.
Confident.
8 points off the bench for Carlton Screen, who's had a heck of a half. Shelton Jones is in traffic. Now Jackson will bring it up. Rick Pitino yelling, "Stop him," off the bench.
That's a good thought. I think it's a little hard to do.
St. John's can take this all the way down to about 4 seconds left in the half if they want, and it looks like they want. Looking at the game clock, there's 19 now on the shot clock. I'm sorry, Bill.
I say Providence just backing it in a little there. Don't want to make any mistake. Now they're going to run a trap out of it. Interesting. Heck of a call.
Jackson with 6-5 takes a three-pointer. Rebound Kipfer. Providence a chance to get the final hoop and take the lead. Kipfer storming up the floor. And he hit it at the buzzer. Big bucket by Dave Kipfer. He goes coast to coast for his 10th point of the night. And at the half, the Providence College Friars have taken a lead. We have played 20 minutes here at Alumni Hall. The score, Providence 47, St. John's 46. Watch Kipfer.
The presence of mind, Mike, to dribble it, keep the head up. He didn't see the guards. He's looking. I thought he may have charged here, kept going all the way, but the presence of mind to square up, old-fashioned. Nail it from 15.
Typical hustle basket by Dave Kipfer. He is the only Friar in double figures. He has 10, but a lot of people are right close behind him. We're at halftime, 47-46. The Friars are up by 1. Stick around. The halftime's coming up in a minute. 3 spots. They have to win tonight, I would say.
And it's obviously important because of who you have to play in the Big East tournament. And, you know, Lou, earlier in the week against Seton Hall, he was dying before the game because it could have cost them dearly.
Let's take a look at scores from around the Big East here, if we have any that are going on. And Boston College, how about that, huh? Jim O'Brien has kept his club in games. They've got a 2-point lead at the half, 33-31, and Connecticut's giving Villanova all they can handle, 27 apiece. Hey, nothing is easy in this league, Bill Raftery. I don't understand it.
And those two guys deserve some praise. I mean, struggling programs and hanging in and making games tough for the opponent.
Yeah, they realize, okay, how about this ball game here tonight? What do you look for in the second half now?
Yeah, I think Luke Honeycutt feels good, believe it or not. I mean, he had a good start, and Providence caught up. But he didn't like his team the other night. Oh, there's some spirit. I think Providence brought out the spirit.
Yep.
But Rick Pitino's club, you know, able to light it up, and now they've got a little bit of an inside game, and I'd be concerned if I were Louis because of those 2 points.
Okay, let's give out a couple of awards here before we get to second half action. Player of the week in the Big East Conference, and no surprise who it is, really, Mark Jackson.
Write it in once more, huh?
Yeah, Mark having a big night here tonight is looking like he wants to get that award one more time. We're going to take a look at Jackson here and watch the moves he puts on after he gets a hold of this loose ball.
Well, that's that little double up on Billy with Lewis, and he just does a little bit of everything here, Mike. A clinic on how to handle a ball. I would have lost it on the first between the legger, but he's been doing it for 2 years now. I thought he was the premier guard last year, certainly this year.
And now we're going to take a look as we see Mark in the Big East. 3-point field goal percentage, second steal, second scoring, third assist. And again, the scoring, I think, is the key, because I think when everybody talked to Louis before the year started, Here's the kid who had the big assist record, the NCAA assist record last year, and people said to him, what's Mark going to do for an encore this year? Louis always said he's got to score.
And the strength, too. Played every minute of the 9 Big East games. Gee, amazing athlete.
Let's take a look at our freshman of the week here in the Big East Conference. And that is the young man out of Connecticut, Tate George, who has really done a nice job for Jim Calhoun in what has been a troubled year down in Connecticut.
Not easy for him, but learning. He'll be a factor each year now.
Okay, now that we've done a little business, let's talk a little bit more about that second half. You know, Lucan Aseka had great scoring early in the ball game out of Glass. He got off the mark real fast with 10. But, you know, as I look down, I see 35 of the 46 points for St. John's have come from 3 players. Providence, on the other hand, has about 5 people between 7 and 10.
Well, you mentioned Rick's not afraid to go to the bench, and he has some answers there. Lou, limited somewhat. He's a 7 to 7.5 type of coach, and, you know, I thought a good half by Glass and Jones, and it proves how tough Providence is.
Yeah, okay, we will find out if fouls will rule this game. A lot of people in foul trouble. When we come back, the second half from Alumni Hall. The Friars are up by 1. And welcome back to Alumni Hall, everybody. We're about set to start the second half. Dave Kipfer, Yasik Duda, Billy Donovan, Delray Brooks, and Ernie Lewis on the floor for Providence College. Mark Jackson, Willie Glass, Terry Bross, Shelton Jones, and Matt Brust back out on the floor for St. John's. Brooks looks to open with a 3-pointer, rebound Bross.
But they go right at you, don't they? You don't relax and work your way into a ball game with Providence.
All right, Brust again was on the bench for a good part of that first half with early foul trouble. Let's see whether his presence will help spark St. John's. When he was on the floor early, St. John's controlled. Gets an A+ in intensity no matter what his numbers may read. Number 23, Matt Brust. Looking inside for Bross. Moves on Duda and hits. That's how we opened the game.
Why, 3 you said right out of the gate. Actually, it was a bailout pass. Matt Brust didn't have any place to go.
Brooks comes top of the key. Lewis pops out.
Good timing on their sets, Providence.
Kipfer turnaround, and he hits it. Dave Kipfer having himself a big ball game. He is the leading scorer with 12. Rick Pitino is like a defense lawyer over here, just continually pleading his case. Shelton Jones, yes.
Athletic move, too. Good hustle by Duda, and he cut off the baseline. Shelton able to answer in the middle.
Back and forth we go in the odd number. Lewis trying to solve that problem. Follows his own shot, but Bross is there. Looks and finds Jackson. Willie Glass is on the seat of his pants at the other end of the floor. Now Glass coming into your picture there, number 30. Matt Brust takes a runner. Won't go down. Gets his own rebound. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Delray Brooks.
Brust was about to walk. I could not see whether Delray had grabbed him or not, but that just typifies what you said about Matt Brust. I mean, he didn't have any right for that rebound.
Nope, you're right. That's St. John's with the ball in the lead. It's been a while since anybody's had the ball and the lead. Bross looks to move again on Duda, but he's shut off as Lewis came nicely to help. Willie Glass to pull up, and he got it. 12 for Glass.
See if you can pick up the timing on the screens. I think they do a good job there.
Delray Brooks back rims it. Willie Glass takes the rebound away in the second effort, starts on the break himself. Jackson calling for the ball from behind. I wanted to ask you right off the top, but with Providence sometimes there's no time. Jones looking to move, does, and hits.
Rick Pitino quickly with the timeout. The respect for Mark Jackson. He held it up, made sure it got in for an easy one.
17:30 to go in the game. St. John's down by 1 at the half has suddenly opened up a 5-point lead. We'll be back. There you see the trouble in the middle. Duda and Wright with 3 apiece. Bross and Baldy matching those numbers. Bill, I wanted to ask you, 47-46 our halftime score. Do you think Lucan Aseka wanted to play another 93-point half here in the second 20 minutes?
No, and I'll answer you indirectly. I think it was an attitude half for him. He was going to let his team play. He didn't feel they played well against Seton Hall. Let him go a little bit. Now it seems he's pulled them in a little bit, using the clock a little bit more. And, of course, Mark Jackson is the conduit in that fashion.
Kipfer out deep, finds Brooks. They look inside for Duda. Yasik will take it. Nice tap. Kipfer won't go down. Matt Brust, the loose ball. St. John's all of a sudden can open up a 7-point lead if they convert here. Glass top of the key, Brust on a wing, looking for Shelton Jones down in the baseline, who's got Lewis. Jones has got about 5 inches on Ernie Lewis.
You can see the overload, and then they reverse it. You see Delray Brooks doing a good job not letting Mark Jackson turn it across the floor.
Brust kicks it out to Jackson.
Down to 10.
Willie's going to take it. The loose ball comes to Ernie Lewis as Shelton Jones went down in the heap. Here comes Providence on the run. Donovan, good move, kicks it off to Lewis for 3.
Boy, he gets those toes turned in and set. Billy Donovan penetrating, setting it up.
12 points for Ernie Lewis. It's at least his 3rd three-pointer. It really is a quiet house here at Alumni Hall. I mean, they are standing in the aisles, but it's like they keep waiting for this explosion out of St. John's that came in the first couple of minutes. And
they say it's been like this all year, though.
Really?
You know, they'll applaud the real good play. They don't get in it all game long. Sophisticated now.
Ross tried to feed it in low. It was picked off by Delray Brooks, and Providence College, right back off that timeout where they were down 5, have a chance to tie. Or if they go for their three-pointer like that, go ahead.
Good challenge by Jackson.
Here's Jackson on the break. Moves around Brooks, dumps it off. Shelton Jones will take it. Bad shot, but a foul is called, and I think Ernie Lewis is going to pick it up.
He bailed him out, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Shelton had nowhere to go.
No, off the mark.
Number 23, Ernie Lewis. His first, the team's second.
That is the first on Lewis. 2 on Providence College here in the second half. 4 minutes and 32 seconds gone. St. John's yet to commit a foul, and Shelton Jones, who has 11 points. Well, I got him for 11 anyway.
I believe you.
Thanks, Bill.
That fast break, typical Jackson. He really went up in the air, made sure he didn't charge, gave it to Shelton. I think he would have loved to have been able to go get it back from Shelton Jones before he shot it.
Sometimes you'd think Mark Jackson has a string on the ball. Maybe he wanted one there.
Louis got his club playing the three-pointers pretty good. Might get something inside.
Kipfer trying to square up on Bross. Kipfer really wants the ball. They find him. Won't go, and it's tipped to Jackson, who's knocked out of bounds, and Mickey Crowley says he stepped out of bounds.
Kipfer, he fell over, and of course it's one of those calls. Louis can't believe it. Just a trip over Kipfer. It's really, there's not much you can do. That's why I love the force out, believe it or not.
That would be a great place for it right there.
Sure.
Donovan off the screen, and he knocks it home.
Basket by Billy Donovan.
11 for Billy D, and it's suddenly a 1-point game. Willie Glass. Steve Wright, a good job to shut him off, and Glass brought it back out.
2-2-1 press that time by Providence.
Glass, couple of up fakes. Gets the roll.
Boy, he went up, Mike. Marty Conlon. Jeez, he went 5 or 6 inches over him.
There's Conlon, the freshman.
Now you take away the 3. Providence inside people have to convert to help these guys out here.
They have pushed Donovan and Lewis well out of even three-point range. We're talking NBA three-pointers if they shoot it from where they're getting it.
They're playing tag on him.
There's Brooks letting one fly.
And Brust got caught. Actually was picked by Mark Jackson.
Tied at 57. Providence keeps coming back with the bombs. Matt Brust breaks the pressure. Now Shelton Jones will turn it back out. Brooks is just, Brooks has got an arm around Jackson. He's got 2 arms around Jackson.
It's about the only way you can stop him.
He really did. He had both his arms around him. Shelton Jones. That shot is there, but it won't go down. Loose. Donovan's got it off the floor. Providence can grab the lead back. Ernie Lewis. Shelton Jones rebounds the miss. And Jackson will set the offense slowly for St. John's.
Michael, now you see why they get more shots than St. John's and most of their opponents. So they do not hesitate.
Matty Brush looking inside. Willie Glass is short with it. Good rebound, Delray Brooks, and he'll start the break himself. Brooks looking to go coast to coast, and does.
Heck of a move. He throws Mark Jackson out at the foul line. Say Providence relentless both ways. Continue their pressure, Mike.
59-57. The Friars have come back again with a rush to go up by 2.
Looking for a little half-court trap to make Mark Jackson give it up.
Oh, nice pass by Jackson. Finds Brust under the glass. Over to Jones on a break, and a traveling violation is called on Shelton Jones.
Lots of break for Providence. Timmy Higgins was ready with the foul call, but they had to walk before.
Luke Conosecca really upset on his sideline. Carlton Screen is into the ball game. There you see 15 turnovers on St. John's.
They ought to give referees earmuffs. I'm convinced. Both coaches on them.
There is a line of chatter here tonight. Steve Wright. And the foul is called. Willie Glass is going to pick it up, or is it Shelton Jones?
Shelton Jones. Great ball fake by Steve Wright. They can get it in there, Providence. Just a matter of converting or getting to the free throw line.
Just the foul, second personal foul on Shelton Jones. And Steve Wright's going to shoot a couple. I'm not sure exactly what our fans at home can or cannot hear, but from the time Steve Wright got that ball, Rick Pitino started screaming, foul. Did you hear me? He's going, foul, foul, foul. There wasn't anybody within 2 feet of Wright.
Power of suggestion.
I guess. Making his case. And the case is a good one so far here tonight, as the Friars have stretched the lead out to 3. And
Bad
Shelton
pass.
Jones almost traveled with it.
Great tip to himself. You know, Brust has been not real good with the basketball, particularly in the early part of the first half.
Jackson looks to work on Screen, and Screen's going to be called with a hand check. On Screen, that is his second personal foul. Third on the team. In comes Alanda Lewis, and out goes Matt Brust. Jackson comes in the glass. St. John's down by 3.
Good job by Conlon.
Glass to the hoop, won't go down, but a foul on the way through is going to go on Steve Wright. And on Wright, that'll be number 4.
Tell you, Shelton Jones did a great job. He did it the other night against Seton Hall, screening people off to let the driver go. That time he did it for Willie Glass.
Jacek Duda and Dave Kipper quickly off the Providence bench. Wright's going to sit down, so is Brooks. Rick Pitino keeps trading fouls for time.
Well, you told me early in the year, what did he say, he had 15?
Somebody asked him once if he had a center, and he said, no, I just have 15 fouls that I give in there. Willie Glass has got them both. 16 points for Willie Glass. We've got a timeout. It is a 12-minute basketball game now at St. John's, and the Friars are up by 1. 160-59. St. John's made a good run to open this second half. However, Luke Conosecca's club has fallen on some hard times here the last 2 or 3 minutes. And, you know, Bill, I think we're pretty impartial. And right now, that's the fresher and quicker team on the floor.
Yeah, they look alive. They seem to be running their half-court set efficiently, getting it where they want. And, again, tempo, continually pushing offensively to get the quick-hitting shot. And now they've got a little inside game going. Of course, Wright with the 4 fouls, that hurts them, but Kipper able to make some inside moves. And, of course, Jacek Duda now. They switch so quickly, you got to pay attention. So you're right. I think Providence on top right now.
mentally as well.
Donovan Duda. Kipfer screen, and Lewis on the floor. Screen penetrates, blocked by Shelton Jones. The crowd wanted to travel on Carlton's screen. They got a better play out of it.
That's the case where he should have got in deep enough. He could have kicked it to the wing and maybe got a three-pointer.
Jones had to come out a long way to get his hands on the ball.
I love the way Jackson flicks away the hands. Billy Donovan trying to pester him.
There's a lot of hand checking going on out there. St. John's down to 12 right now on the shot clock. Jackson in and out. Shelton Jones the rebound. Jacek Duda the foul.
They must have great rebounding drills at Providence. First aid squad has to be ready. I mean, Duda punishing Shelton Jones.
That is the 5th foul right now on Providence College. Just one on St. John's. 11:04 to go in the game.
And you've got 4 for Duda, right?
Yep.
Oh.
4 on Wright, 4 on Duda, and another 6'10" body gets off the bench, and Abdul Shamsuddin will come in for a couple of minutes.
Providence number 25.
Rick Pitino is going to stay thin for a long time because he works the game and the officials nonstop, all 40.
Oh, he really does. Alanda Lewis missed an easy one, but look who's there. First basket of the second half by Mark Jackson. He's got 20.
He inbounds the ball, Mike. He gets in offensive rebounding position. Great hands, large, able to control the basketball, too.
Very quickly, Delray Brooks is back at the scorer's table. Brooks has been as efficient as anyone at trying to deny Jackson. Donovan coming around to Kipfer screen.
Good help by Terry Bross. Little hedge defensively.
Kipfer again outside, and he hits one more time.
Showing it, huh?
14.
Some range.
High scorer for the Friars, David Kipfer. And
nice.
Look at Kipfer on the floor. Lewis will look for 3.
Oh, what
the
a
tap
tip.
won't go. Loose ball. Who's got it? Out of bounds. St. John's basketball.
Dave Kipfer got that tip too, Mike.
Yep.
Boy, showing great desire.
And Providence will come right back with the pressure.
You can see the 4 across. Traditional offensive set versus a press. All they want to do is get it in and beat you in segments.
Alanda Lewis finds Mark Jackson on the break. Gives it off. Shelton couldn't get close to the hoop. Now Lewis will take a runner. Too hard off the glass. And Shamsuddin's got the rebound, looking for help. Providence by 1 with the basketball. 9:50 to go in the game. Donovan looks to penetrate. Does.
Oh, pretty goal. Without the glass, Mike, that's not an easy basket. Good, strong, you heard power. Picks outside for Billy Donovan.
Willie Glass takes it in for 2. Just went over Shamsuddin.
Right back. Don't put your head down. Here comes Providence.
18 for Glass, but quickly a foul called on the other end, and if this goes on Terry Bross, it's number 4. So the first of the St. John's centers picks up his 4th foul, and Marco Baldi is quickly off the bench and into the ball game. 2nd foul on St. John's.
That Kipper really showing the range tonight. I mean, he's an extraordinary competitor. I guess he typifies this club even more than Billy Donovan. What do you think?
Yeah, he just might, because he does not have the skills Billy Donovan has.
Single screen. I didn't say double.
You know, much has been said one way and written one way or the other about Rick Pitino and his methods, but right there is a young man who has become a much, much better basketball player playing for Rick Pitino.
Tell him it isn't the right way, huh?
Yep.
Kipper will straighten you out.
16 for David Kipfer, and it's a 3-point Providence lead. The pressure continues on St. John's as Jackson just makes it across the 10-second line.
He has a field, doesn't he?
Yep.
I mean, you keep looking at the clock saying, we got one if you're the opponent.
Where will St. John's go for offense? Baldi? Yep, that's good for 2. 4 for Marco.
Not a bad pass by Willie Glass.
Delray Brooks coming out.
Dean.
And, yep. Shumsted Dean grabbing.
He moved down on that pick, Mike, and he rode it out.
Providence foul on number 25, Abdul Shumsted.
Next foul is going to put Providence over the limit with 8:53 to go in the half. Duda is back in.
Back in the game for the Friars.
And St. John's one more time a chance to take the lead as we're on the odd number, 66-65 Providence.
Rick Pitino doesn't have to worry about saying to the players.
St. John's lost it.
Kipfer again. He doesn't say to his players, you've got 4, watch it. I'm sure he just says, go ahead in there. Use it if you have to. Yasik Duda with 4 back in.
Lewis kicking it out to Donovan. Billy trying to use the Kipfer screen. There is Kipfer, got glass in the air. And Willie's called it the foul.
Boy, are they reacting to the basketball. St. John's going up with just a little raise of the eyebrow.
Willie Glass. That's his first, team's third.
Non-shooting foul. Delray Brooks will inbound under the Providence basket. Kipfer got free and hit with the left hand.
Shut off baseline. Intelligent move to the center and a good delivery with the left.
18 for David Kipfer. Near steal. Alanda Lewis now breaks the press and gives it right back to Jackson. 3-point Providence lead, and the clock starting to wind down a little bit as we approach 8 minutes to go in the game.
Well, they really move out on Jackson, don't they, Providence? They've done a good job trying to play him deep.
Shelton Jones trying to put a move on. Throws one up and hits in the lane.
Well, he got banged, too.
Yeah, he sure did.
Jackson stepping in. Two of the better guards in the country there.
Going at each other head on head. 8 minutes to go, and we've got a timeout. It'll be St. John's ball when we get back. The Friars are up by 1, 68-67. Thrust is back into the ball game with Glass, Baldy, Jones, and Jackson. Lewis, Donovan, Steve Wright, Kipfer, and Brooks are on the floor for Providence College. Wright is playing with 4 fouls.
Louis takes a little longer. He says that extra prayer.
Right, he
the
does.
closer the game, the little longer, and the longer the prayer.
You're not being facetious here.
No, no.
Matt Brust, who has not been an offensive factor, gets double teamed. Shelton Jones.
Nice trap on the baseline. St. John's very fortunate to get it back out.
Jackson looks like he wants it, dumps it off instead. Glass hits it. 20 points now for Willie Glass, 10 in each half. The Redmen go back up by 1.
No question, they're a better team with Glass, Jones in the game as well as Jackson.
Long outside jumper won't go down. Jackson the rebound. St. John's, Jackson following right up the floor.
Hey, here's the guy clearing the lane.
He
Follow
really
that
did.
big truck.
That's exactly what he was doing. Now St. John's will eat some time off the clock here, the shot clock anyway. Baldy is out in the high post.
Still the match. And this is that grab. We mentioned earlier Mark Jackson slapping Billy Donovan away. All good players do it. You put your hand in, you should get spanked.
Third, the Friars are over the limit.
The Friars have been doing a lot of hand checking. There's been a lot of hand checking by both sides in this game tonight.
Mark Jackson.
Rick Pitino coaching away on the sideline.
He's always at it.
Jackson will be at the line, a chance to put his club up 3. Jackson with 20 points, but only 2 here in the second half.
Going up to Providence is so enjoyable, isn't it? The way the team is playing, the town's alive.
Oh, it's tremendous back there now.
Not bringing a team up. I'm sure that's not
Yeah.
much fun, but...
No, that's, there wasn't, well, you remember well during the Dave Gavitt years how that was a bad building to play in.
Oh, it sure was.
It is now becoming a tough place for a team to come in and play again. 3-point St. John's lead. Let's see how the Friars react now down. They have reacted positively every time so far tonight. Kipfer has been the offensive man, gives to Donovan, back to Kipfer, and Baldy
He just can't.
pushed him out.
He just can't resist, and he knows they've been working and talking to him. His reaction is always with the hands, the strength, the macho reaction.
And the team's score.
All right, Terry Bross comes in. Baldy goes out. 4 fouls apiece, so it's kind of a wash in the middle right now for St. John's. That's their 14th foul. Lewis circling around that three-point line. Kipfer. Lewis.
Great hustle.
Goes
Paid
right
for
back
it.
and gets it.
Glass paid for the hustle. He overran the checkout.
Brooks hits for 3 in the corner.
3 points for
Just people running to that spot in black uniforms all night long. We're tied at 71. Jackson gets it ahead to Willie Glass. Willie will take it.
Oh boy. I'll tell you, this got to get both coaches off.
Offensive foul, Willie Glass.
I think Duda stepped in. I mean, he offered up. Willie Glass tried
Take
to
a look.
slide. He uses the left hand. Duda just stepping in.
Well, maybe he was there.
All right,
Maybe he was.
you like the call. I question it.
All right. The first this year, right?
No, we have a lot more coming too. But Providence makes the referees think.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
They're always in on each action.
Providence now working the shot clock down as it's at 15. Jacek Duda just like hit Mark Jackson with an elbow and got away with it. Kipfer front rims that one, and Bross clears.
I think we ought to clear the gym and let Baldi and Jacek Duda go at one another.
That was a shot Duda put on Jackson.
Oh, when you're going to pick, the coach told you to pick, get him.
He got him. Matt Brust looking inside, back out to Jackson. 5:20 to go in the game. You have a feeling last one with the ball is going to win this. Glass and a foul coming over the top. Who's it going to be? Delray Brooks will pick it up.
Good interior move there, wasn't it? Willie bouncing, almost coming up with the goal.
All right, Willie at the free throw line, and Big East play has not been a great free throw shooter, to say the least. His form is a lot better than in years past, however.
He complained early on that he wasn't bending his knees, but he does bend them, but then he straightens up at the top, almost in a lock position.
Yep. He's got 21. Jackson's got 22. It's a 1-point game. We're about
here
to
it is.
crack 5 minutes.
There, Duda. You know, he goes to the well so often. That screen down. Jacek can't believe it.
That is the 5th foul on Jacek Duda, so he's gone. And Rick Pitino's real close to a technical foul. I mean, real close. He's real close.
You know, fortunately, it's Mickey. And Mickey Crowley showing a lot of patience. Watch Duda now on the screen down. Now he's moving. And Brust counters, so I'll tell you, I think initially Duda, but Brust countered.
Brust certainly did counter, didn't he?
You've got to be standing still, and the old saying, you got to give him a step. I mean, refs don't see that in the rule book, but you really got to give the guy some motion, some maneuvering room.
Brust missing the front end of the 1-and-1. That could come back and haunt if the St. John's Redmen don't shoot better at the line here. There's Lewis hitting for 3.
Billy again. They're looking to take him out of the game with a 3-point play. And as we mentioned earlier, he's unselfish. He'll give it to his partners.
Mark Jackson explodes into the forecourt by Kipfer. Jackson takes it in.
He charged. Good call.
Offensive foul, Mark Jackson.
Good call. Seldom out of control. That time, a rather easy call.
And we are going to have a timeout. Luke Conasecca, hands in his pocket, standing out on the court, looking at Tim Higgins. Mark Jackson is still up with the official Tim Higgins. 4:32 to go here in the game. And the Friars are up by a deuce. Fans here in the New York area, the February 21st game between the Redmen and the Kansas Jayhawks has been moved to 1 o'clock at Madison Square Garden. Again, they've switched the game time of that one, 1 o'clock. Must have had something to do with television, I bet. What do you think?
Dread it. TV.
That's right.
Rick,
Who are those
nonstop.
guys? Providence the ball and up by a hoop. 4:28 to go in the game. Jackson out aggressively on Donovan. Brust has got Brooks. Glass is chasing Lewis. Ernie Lewis weaves his way through and then kicks it out.
Good job by Jones on right.
Donovan takes the pull up and he got it.
Tough. Great read too. Looked over his shoulder.
The lead goes to 4. Under 4 minutes to play. Lewis Neely came up with the steal.
Only 4 seconds left. 38.
Jackson now to set things up. Big offensive trip here for St. John's. Last thing they want to do is get down 6. Willie Glass over Donovan. Hits it. Willie has had a fine game.
Sure
with
has.
23.
And they went right to him. Not an easy shot either.
Providence now looking to answer and extend their lead.
As you well know, they don't use the clock. They'll take the first good one that shows.
Delray Brooks thinks he has it. Rebound Willie Glass. St. John's a chance to tie as we're about to hit 3 minutes to go in the game.
Still a 2-3. All ball game. Playing tag on Mark Jackson.
Matty Brust had a thought outside. Looking to get it back to Jackson. Still plenty of time. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Brust inside. Glass slapped away. Loose. Jump ball is called. St. John's on the alternating possession.
Delray Brooks hit the floor. He just rolled over one of the St. John's people.
Jackson will inbound. Loop it to Glass. Nearly picked off by Lewis. But Jackson just never gets tired, does he, Bill?
No, he's got a tremendous strength. Even there, tough going to his left, able to square up and jump over. Great upper body.
24th point for Mark Jackson ties the game at 76. 2:15 now to go, and this crowd here at Alumni Hall at last is getting into it. Right, nearly lost it, and then hit.
Great composure. Again, Billy the Kid delivering.
5 Providence College players in double figures. They have really spread it around tonight. Russ thought about 3, and Jackson said, whoa, I'm right here.
Boy, Billy almost playing him box and 1. Now Delray switching.
Jackson double teamed. Trying to break his way clear. Bross comes, gives it right back to him. 10 on the shot clock. Jackson forces it up. Bross the rebound, and he's fouled. Good offensive boards by Terry Bross.
Could be Pop Lewis underneath, but you're right. Mark did force it. He's looking to win it. Pop Lewis got caught underneath. Terry Bross, some good moments tonight.
He has, but the 50% free throw shooter will be at the line in a critical situation here. 1:25 to go in the game. Free throws have hurt St. John's down the stretch. Missed them both. Willie Glass, though, tracks down the offensive rebound. 1:15 now to go in the game. St. John's the ball, trailing by a hoop. Delray Brooks, the big steal.
Willie fell asleep.
Quick hands by Brooks, and let's see what Providence College does now as far as working it down.
St. John's laying back. They're going to have to go out and extend. 4 corner. 3-2. Billy Donovan in the middle.
Jackson out aggressively. Near travel by Donovan. Delray Brooks did travel with it that time. 44 seconds to go in the game. St. John's gets it back, trailing by 2. Marco Baldi has come in. Terry Bross goes out.
I think that's for free throw shooting, believe it or not, Mike. Baldi a little better.
In it comes to Jackson, who waves everybody away, wants to bring it up himself. Thrust down in the corner, Shelton Jones. Shelton wants to go to the hoop, and he is fouled on the way through.
Mark Jackson upset. He wanted the ball back outside. Shelton saw nothing but the goal.
Steve Wright played a heck of a game for Providence College. Is going to sit down with his 5th personal foul. He fouls out with 10 points.
Gave him a nice inside presence.
Sure did. Rick Pitino now will use this, what is it, 30 seconds?
Yes. Rick will use all of it.
Yeah, he will.
This is your way of getting even or putting a little on the officials. Marty Conlon, another local product out of Stepinac here in New York.
Friars, number 30, Marty Conlon, replaces Steve Wright.
And Terry Bross is coming back in as Lou Conaseca is going to make offensive and defensive substitutions here in the final 31 seconds. So free throws, which have betrayed St. John's here at home in the last couple of minutes, are again the major factor as Shelton Jones steps to the line. Here's one of them.
He's pretty darn good. Remember at Pittsburgh, he able to nail a couple?
Well, he got 15 out of a great play out of the players you expect to score. 16 for Shelton Jones, 23 for Willie Glass, 24 for Mark Jackson, but they're in a tie.
Glass with the foul. That's number 7, too. Over the limit.
Foul on number 30, Willie Glass.
Overzealous on the denial. Mark Jackson had taken Billy Donovan out of it. Pop Lewis, good cut to get free.
All right, Pop Lewis will be at the line. Lewis, an excellent free throw shooter, 85%. Ernie has shown in the past couple of weeks he likes the big moments. And the crowd now will see if they can have any effect. Nope.
Pop tough.
He is tough. He's seen the good and bad times, and he likes the good a lot better.
I just see Rick Pitino hollering, no press.
Missed the second.
Look at this.
Out of bounds off Willie Glass.
Shelton Jones came all across to the other box.
Whoa. Ross coming back in, 29 seconds to play. Rick Pitino getting his free throw shooters on the floor. And now Providence College calls a timeout rather than get a 5-second violation. 29 seconds left to go in the game. Providence College, 79. St. John's, 78.
Tina Barros finds Skip Barry inside, and right away, Paul Evans knew he was in a game. BC gained confidence. This time, Tyrone Scott with the alley-oop jam. BC by 2. Pitt barely moved ahead in the second half. Forward Jerome Lane, the nation's leading rebounder, one of his 19 boards off the Charles Smith miss. He scores inside. Still, though, BC trails by just 2 with a second left. Barros then will bury both of a 1-and-1. The game is tied at 58. BC leading by 3 in the first overtime. Time running out. Rod Brooken, nothing but nylon. It's tied at 61. The Fitzgerald Fieldhouse erupts. Then Pitt further demoralized BC in the second overtime. Mike Goodson's three-pointer put Pitt up by 5. Pitt hangs on to win it in double overtime. But again, a great game for Jim O'Brien's club since their upset win over Providence.
There is the story here at Alumni Hall. Timeouts 2 apiece. Providence taking 1 there to avoid the 5-second violation. But the Friars have come here in a game that, again, to get back in the hunt for those top 3 spots in the Big East, many felt they had to win, and they are on the verge of winning it. A 30-game winning streak. How about that? They swept the Johnnies in Big East play. They're knocking on the door right now. It'll be Providence ball as we look at Mark Jackson, who scored 24 tonight coming out.
You'll see a lot of pressure. Delray Brooks is locked. He can't move or run the baseline. Great pick by Conlon.
Near steal Glass. Now they keep it in the hands of Billy Donovan. And there's the foul. Mark Jackson gives it to Billy Donovan, who is an 81% free throw shooter. Remember, we are on the odd number, 79-78. If Donovan makes these,
you can worry about 3, huh?
Yeah. Which we would expect Mark Jackson might well take.
They've done a nice.
Baldi coming in, Bross goes out.
Providence done an extraordinary job forcing Mark Jackson to give it up and not be a factor in some of these last few sequences.
They certainly have.
Donovan.
All right, Billy Donovan, 15 points on the night. Brooks has got 13. Donovan missed the front end. Shelton Jones the rebound. Jackson now kicks it off to Brust. Mark wants it back with 10 on the clock, looking to work. Takes the jumper, won't go down. Baldi over the top. Brust the rebound, puts it up. No, loose on the floor. Providence College has won the game.
Louis wants to stop the clock.
Now Rick Pitino's trying to get his players to go to the bench. Louis is trying to say there's 1 second left in the game. Rick Pitino just turned around and walked away.
I think the game's over, Mike. Unfortunately for Louis and a scrappy group of Providence Friars just hanging tough after that terrible beginning.
79-78. Providence, the upset here. You see the St. John's players are now leaving the floor. If we could crank up those final 20 seconds and see it again and see whether or not Luke Condeseca had a case. Terry Bross
was forcing the play at the end. Louis wanted the ball turned over and given back.
It's not over.
And right here you see Mark trying to force it, Mike. He's been making them during his career. Marco did a great job keeping it alive. Now Brust tries to force it. Here's 4.
3, 2, 1. Ball's out of bounds with 1 second on the clock. Ball is out of bounds with 1 second on the clock. The St. John's coaches are asking us if indeed he got fouled. They see the reaction of the Providence bench.
The referee's taking off. You know, Mike, it was going out as it was going 1-0. And, of course, the whistle then has to, you don't blow the whistle until the ball is out of bounds. And Rick Pitino saying, get everybody off. Louis saying, no, Rick, it's not over.
You can see Pitino yelling, get inside. And now Luke Condeseca has his team back out on the floor, and he is waiting to see. And Tim Higgins, the official, is coming back out. All 3 officials are coming back out on the floor. And Tim Higgins says the game is over. Final score here from St. John. A bizarre ending. 79 for Providence College, 78 for St. John's. Write that one down, folks. The Friars are now 7-4 in the Big East and 17-5 overall. Big, big win for Providence. Welcome back here to Alumni Hall, everybody, and there you see it. A bizarre ending as the St. John's players stood around for a while. 79-78, the final score. Don't forget, our next Providence College telecast on WPRI Channel 12 features the Friars against the Pirates of Seton Hall on Wednesday the 25th. Let's look again at those final 10 seconds. Well, guess you're going to stop it, guys, or you're going to roll it?
Billy Donovan, good defense for it. Here's Brust. It comes back with him now. Here's where he forced a little, trying to get some contact. The ball ends up rolling out towards the sideline. Now, here's the tough call, right? You don't call the whistle until it hits. Now they got it, but the game is over.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough for Louis. It's one of those. Here's what they wanted a foul, too, on Brust. And Providence, as you mentioned, a tremendous win. A shot in that program's arm. We saw the one against Georgetown.
Yep.
And this one just as big on the road.
And our player of the game tonight is just going off the screen there. David Kipper of Providence College. 18 points, a bunch of big rebounds, a couple of floor burns, and again, typifies, I think, Providence College basketball as well as anybody.
Yeah, fun to watch him play.
All right, again, don't forget the next Providence telecast on WPRI comes up against the Pirates of Seton Hall, and that'll be at 7 p.m. on February 25th, and the next Big East game on the MSG Network will be Villanova, rather, at Seton Hall. And that's coming up on February 21st at 7 o'clock. Tonight's final score, once again, Providence 79, St. John 78. For my partner, Bill Raftery, I'm Mike Orman. Good night from New York. This has been a presentation of the Big East Conference Television Network.